Hello, and thanks for tuning in. I went to a card show this past weekend in Hayward, California, and I'm really happy about the tobacco cards I got. First, to start off this video, we have some T51s, University of California up on the front, Mirwad cigarettes represented on the back, as well as across the border of these cards. A lot of them have that intense gold flank, some of them have lost that, and I believe there's errors that don't have that. Stevenshurst has lacrosse. A good number of different sports are represented, camping for instance. University of Minnesota is a big school, of course. I love this Tennessee card that has the amazing imagery of the polo scene. Armor, GW, Georgetown. The most valuable cards of the set are actually the basketball cards that were not included in my purchase, but I'm really happy to have a couple baseball examples and some really neat ones like the Clark harpooning card. Don't see many harpoons on trading cards. Boston with the pole vaulting. Butchell is one of the football cards included in this set. Another one is her. I really like the Tufts card. That's probably my favorite card out of this series. Her, we got Purdue with golf, tennis, Massachusetts, ice skating, Yale, Syracuse, Rochester, Princeton, Amherst, Michigan, Stanford, Dartmouth, and these are really love pieces of the packages the cigarettes came in. These two are from the same backs. Here you have the seal that was often included on tobacco at the time, and then on the back of these two you have more information about the two brands, Mirwad and Helmar. I believe T51s also came with the Helmar back, but all the ones we looked at have the Mirwad back, so neat to have that little piece. I don't think SGC is going to encapsulate these, but I might try just because they are a similar size and they're definitely authentic. Really happy with this lot overall. Despite not having basketball cards, I really like the fact that football is represented, as are several other cool sports and good schools. Next up are some T99s. T99s were another set produced by the American Tobacco Company, just like the T51s, just like the Z206 series. And this series has a lot of iconic imagery. Niagara Falls starts us off. Next we have the Alps. Gorgeous example. And the condition of these for being over 100 years old is just insane. Royal Bengals is another back that you don't see within the T206 set, but was another brand the American Tobacco Company owned. El Capitan is next. Again, I love the gold borders on this set and how great condition they all are. Grand Canyon, the geysers. This is a ship associated with the Titanic, one of the three sister ships, one of the largest of its kind when this card was produced. This is, of course, before the Titanic accident. Next, we have the Forum at Rome, the Pennsylvania Terminal, or Penn Station, I believe that is, Temple at Salt Lake City, the Obelisk, which looks a lot like another card that's coming up soon, the Eiffel Tower. Gorgeous color on those borders, and that image is wonderful for being over 100 years old. Again, produced in 1911. We have the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So iconic, these subjects. Timeless. I'm not big into non-sports cards, and these are my first ones from the set, but I'm really happy to have so many of great subjects like the Grand Canal in Venice, the Brooklyn Bridge, and here's what I was promising you all, the Washington Monument. This one looks like it's been trimmed. And the thing to know about this one, it actually has the panhandle back. This set has the Royal Bengal back on almost all of the cards I'm showing you. I think all but this one. Panhandle was one of three backs. The third back that is not shown apparently mentions both of the tobacco brands, Panhandle and Royal Bengals. Next, I think we got a couple American ones back to back. Library of Congress, the Capitol building in Washington. Here we're jumping over to Athens now. Oh no, actually not quite yet. Rooms of Pompeii, and now we're in Athens with the Parthenon, and then the Acropolis. Again, gorgeous condition. Really excited to see how these grade. Another scene of Athens, and then my favorite Athens example, the Colosseum. Little extra gold flake on the top there, but overall wonderful condition, and I love this information they give you on the back of each card. These two are probably the most valuable two that I picked up. I saw that one of these had sold for over 100 in really bad condition, and these are both really nice. We have the Great Sphinx and the Pyramids. I love that there's camels. I love that they're depicted as they were 100 years ago. This card looks like it's the same set, but it's not. This is from a set called the I want to say T97 Fable set. And I liked this one because of the dark story it got in the back. If you take the time to read that, it's essentially telling you to do what's in your best interest and stay alive, rather than what might be equitable or fair, which is kind of hardcore. But yeah, dead donkey, lion, and the facts. Next, we have some Hall of Fame vintage boxing cards. The first ones are from 1908 and 1909. Tom Sharkey, Bob Fitzsimmons, Fred Welsh, Jim Driscoll. I think that might be one of the biggest names featured her. Atoll, Sam Langford. You can tell what year these are from based on the back. The second series was produced in 1909, while the first series says a series of 50s, and those Hall of Famers all were produced in 1908. So Langford's the only one in Series 2 that I had that was a Hall of Famer. But really happy with the conditions of these overall. I think they're really cool vintage boxing cards. And to continue expanding my vintage boxing collection, these two cards are also Hall of Famers, produced in 1915. This set was called Just Boxers by Cope Brothers out of London, as well as some of those other cards we looked at earlier. And here we have Jock Kilwine. Again, I really like that I have biographies of the players produced in 1915. So not the first boxing cards by any means, but I really like their imagery, and I think I might have a chance of getting 2s or better. Next up, we have Ad Wolgast, another Hall of Fame boxers. I believe he was a world champion and has a dark story. I don't know vintage boxing a ton, so I did some research and learned some stuff, but still have a lot more to learn. And then finally, Jai Braddock. This set, I believe, was produced in 1936. Yep, champions of 1936. And he was a world heavyweight champion as well. Very happy to have those boxing cards. Next, we have a few cards from 1970s Topps football, all in really nice shape. A couple Hall of Famers here, Billy Shaw, Bob Hayes, and Jim Butlers. The backs are also quite clean, and these actually came out of this box. An original 1970s Topps football box. Really good shape overall. Didn't need any repair or anything like that. You love the image on the back. 25 cents at the time. I paid a good bit more for it today, or not today, but this past weekend, and I was happy to find these really nice cards inside that I will also be submitting for grading. Next up, we have some more tobacco cards. These are from a set called Types of All Nations, I believe. Allen and Ginter did a very similar set, but these are from 1910 from the American Tobacco Company also. We have Persia, Burma, Java. We have 2 different examples of Java, and reason being they have different backs. The Sub-Rosa back and the Recruit back. The Sub-Rosa back is neat that it lists different brands that the set was released with. Sweet Pearl is the only one you're going to recognize from the T206 set. But to finish walking through these cards, we have Samoa, which might be my favorite with those teeth, South Africa, which is pretty intense, and Hungary. Moving on, we have a couple military cards. I don't typically get drawn toward military cards, but I like this set a lot since most of the cards have the Tolstoy back, which is one of the tougher T206 backs. But an even tougher T206 back is the Uzit back. So you can find these with Uzit and Linux backs also, and I just really like the connection to the T206 set and how nice condition these both are overall, so I was happy to grab those also. Next up, we have a good number of Allen and Ginter cards from a good number of different sets. Allen and Ginter produced cards from 1887 to 1890 at least, and this set right here are from a set of, called Fruits. Obviously enough, we got the Mango and the Lotus. I like the Mango the most. Lotus might be in slightly better shape. Most Allen and Ginter sets list the checklist on the back, which is handy, of course, though you often find them marked. So again, Mango and Lotus from an 1800s, late 18th or 19th century Allen and Ginter set. Another set Allen and Ginter produced was this Rider set. I don't know anything about these individual subjects, but I think the images are neat and the cards are quite clean. Again, on the back, you're going to see the checklist We have both American and English riders represented throughout this set. They were released in packs of 10 cigarettes, again all the way back in 1890 or so. Next, this set is a flag set. First off, we have the Royal Standard flag of Great Britain. Pretty cool. Again, you got the checklist on the back. Her is the Spanish flag, and my personal favorite is the pennant US flag. Really gorgeous example. Really like this card for a lot of different reasons. And again, the checklist on the back. There are two different flags of all nations backs. If you guys didn't notice, the arced one and the plain one. I believe these were released initially, and like this was the revised version. Not 100% on that, but nonetheless. We have two birds here, the red bird of paradise and then the horned owl. I like them both, but especially the owl. They're from two different sets, the Birds of the Tropic and the Birds of America sets. Both Allen and Ginter tobacco card sets featuring some really neat birds. They even did a set of chickens. I don't have any of those in this stack, but I like those a lot. Next up, we got a couple dudes. First, the Danish dude, and on the left, the yachting guy. I really like the yachting guy's telescope and his hat, and the Danish guy's hat also. Got your list of dudes on the back here. Very nice examples. Happy to have these dudes in my collection. Next up, one of the tougher Allen and Ginter set is this pirate set. Pirate Thomas here. They give you a bit about his life, which is unique since most Allen and Ginter sets, as I said, have the checklist. This is my first pirate card. Very, very happy to have him, despite the paper loss. Glad to add Thomas to the collection. Our final Allen and Ginter card is an American editor card. I believe this set is called N1. Not the earliest Allen and Ginter set, but it is one of the more popular ones. It's a tough set to come by. Big mark on the back here, but nonetheless, definitely worth encapsulating just to how tough these early Allen and Ginter cards are. And then finally, we have some presidents. First, we have Fillmore here. Fillmore was falling apart really badly. The crease was really intense, so I went ahead and used some archival type. This is what I used right here. Without that, it would have fallen apart. Odie had a notable tear, so happy to keep that alive by adding it there. And so you guys know, this is from a set of U.S. presidents, obviously enough, produced by the American Eagle Tobacco Company. Really, really tough set to come by. I'm very happy to have seen them and to have picked them all up. Rutherford B. Hayes is next to her. This card was in the nicest condition of the three, heavy creasing throughout, but nothing making it too fragile. And then finally, the most valuable one is, of course, John Adams. Lovely card overall. There is a heavy crease right one across above his head, and on the back it was more severe and the ink was starting to come up, so I went ahead and did a small piece of archival type there to keep it intact, and I hope that now it is able to get encapsulated. But very happy to have John Adams here. So overall, I did really, really well. I got everything you saw in this video for under $700, and I'm really happy to have the variety of tobacco cards added to my collection, an original 1970s Taps backs, and some really great Allen and Ginter cards that are unique. But thanks again for watching, everyone.